morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started just as usual, either seated or standing, just really making sure you're paying attention to that length through the vertebrae. We're going to chin tuck for 10. Ready? And begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Maintaining that length. We're going to do our head turn side to side. Always coming back to center. 5 each direction. Here we go. Turn, center, turn. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Moving on to our warm-up. Same warm-up as last week. 30 seconds is going on the clock for each move, 10 seconds between each move. And we are starting with our cat-cow, either seating or you can stand with your hands placed on the chair. Let's get ready. And just so you know what that looks like in case you're new today, the standing variation is right here. Arching and untucking. Okay, for your own range of motion. I'm going to do seated variation first though, okay? Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so we're waking up the spine here. Going through your body's own range of motion. Okay, that's going to look different depending on the person. All right, we're not trying to force the stretch. We're just gently waking everything up and getting it prepared for the work to come. This should feel good. We have about 5 more seconds here. 2, and 1. Next, we have our 4-count cherry pickers. So our feet are right outside the width of our shoulders. Standing, we're going to reach out, middle, inwards, and then stand back up. Okay, I'm going to do it seated round 1. You pick which works best. And again, just like our cat-cow, you're going through your range of motion. If your fingertips don't want to touch the floor, please don't try to make them. You might even find round for round as your body warms up, they get lower. But there's no forcing. Okay, the next exercise is our lateral 2-step knee raise. So standing, let's step together, step, knee, step together, step, knee. Seated, we are step together, step, opposite knee, step together, step, opposite knee. Bring that lateral movement in, warming up our hips and the sides of our glutes. Three, 2, and 1. The last exercise in the circuit is our cross-body reach for 4 to diagonal reach for 4. So we're going to reach, 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 and reach, and now up. Reach, 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 and reach. Okay, standing is the same, really. And up. 2, 3, and 4. Go back to seated for this round. You're going to notice more of a pivot with that standing variation than the seated, just because of the natures of the hips being bent. And time. Good. We're going to go through that same 4 exercises 4 more times. I am moving to standing variations now. Stay seated if you need to. Here we go. Starting with cat-cow. Arching and untucking. Mindfulness. Thinking about the movement your spine is creating there. Thinking about how your hips and your neck are involved in this movement, rounding. And then arching. 3, 2, and one. Okay, moving on to our 4-count cherry pickers, either seated or standing. Remember, those feet just come right outside the width of your shoulders, okay? I'm going to show you from the side this time. We're reaching outwards, we're reaching right down the middle, and then we're reaching inwards, and then we're coming up, okay? I'm keeping my spine neutral. I'm trying not to have too much rounding through the spine. You're going to, with the standing variation, you're going to feel this through the back of the legs a little more than you are with the seated variation. The seated variation, you're going to feel it a little more stretching through the lower back. And time. Okay, the next one is our lateral 2-step to knee raise. Okay, remember with your seated, it's 2 abduction to opposite knee. Ready? And begin. Step together, step, knee. Fun one. Similar to the grapevine, right? Yeah. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, last one is our 4 cross body reaches to 4 diagonal reaches, okay? Seated or standing, ready? Begin. 2, 3, 4. 2. If you push through that palm, you're going to feel a little bit more of a stretch to your back, that area behind the rib cage. And time. Okay, one more round through, and then we're going to move on. All right, so back to our final round of cat-cow. Seated or standing. Ready? And begin. Remember, your spine houses your spinal cord, which is your central nervous system there. All those thoughts that you have in your mind to tell your body what to do, run through that area. So it's important to take care of our spinal health. And time. Okay, last round of 4-count cherry pickers, seated or standing. Remember, those feet are right outside the hips, okay? And we're reaching outwards, middle, and a little bit back and up, okay? And up. Going through your own range and also going at your own pace, okay? This is an up-down movement here, so if you find yourself getting a little dizzy, either slow your pace down or maybe take it to the seated variation if you're not already there. And of course, you could always stop early if you need to. And time, back to our lateral 2-step with knee raise. Let's get ready and begin. Step together, step, knee. You get a little peek of my mom on the side here.
Oh, yeah.
Room's not big enough to get us both in here. Well, it is, but the furniture placement kind of, you know, makes it difficult.
Yeah.
And good. The last one, we're going back to our rotational movement. Okay, it's our 4 cross-body twists to 4 diagonal twists. Okay, here we go. Seated or standing. Remember, if you push through that palm ever so slightly, you're going to feel to warm up those back muscles. We're warming up that thoracic spine. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, that's our warm up, guys. First block is a 45-15. It will be 3 exercises in 9 minutes long. So very familiar format for us. Okay. We are going to do sumo squats, okay? So feet, remember with the sumo squats, are outside the width of the shoulder. The heel of the foot is right outside this, okay? Toes are facing outward, right? And we're gonna lower down, down, up, almost all the way up. See this? I don't want you to come all the way out, okay? I want you to keep a little tension on the muscle, okay? And remember, we're pushing through the heels of our foot as we come up and down, okay? Down, down, up, up. You can hold on to the back of your chair if you need to. You could do it body weight, or you could hold on to weights, okay? Now your seated variation as usual for our sumo squat is lateral tap, leg extension, lateral tap, leg extension, and I will do that round one. After that, we are going to do our 3 rows to hinge. So you're going to grab your weights or your water bottles or your imaginary weights, okay? Nice and tall through the spine, your seated variation. We're hinging forward. 3, 2, 1, up, right back down, okay? 3, 2, 1, standing, feet are underneath the hips, toes are forward, hinging forward. 3, 2, 1, squeeze the glutes to stand up, back down, okay? Repeating that sequence. The final one is a curl and press, okay? That's gonna look the same either way. Now, some of you may have issues with going overhead, okay? So you can curl here, okay? Just give me your bicep curls, all right? And I'll remind you. So if going overhead is painful, okay, and it feels like acute pain, go for the bicep curl, okay? All right, so first round I will do seated. 40 seconds is going on, 45 seconds is going on the clock, okay? And we are starting with our sumo squats, okay? So remember, it's about 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up, driving through the heels on your way up, and don't lock your knees out at the top, okay? Nice and wide with that stance. Ready and begin. Here I'm seated variation. Lateral tap, flex foot, leg extension. So I really engage here, okay? Lateral tap, flex the foot. That'll help engage that muscle on the top of the leg, your quadricep. Mindfulness, remember, we're always more concerned about the quality of our work over how many repetitions we get here, okay? Keeping your body connected to your mind, connected to the muscles that you're working and trying to engage. All right, and time, okay? Next, we're going to our 3-row hinge, okay? So if you're seated with me, you're kind of closer towards the edge of your chair so you have some room to hinge forward. And I'm trying to keep my spine nice and neutral here, not railing through. Here we go. I'm hinging forward. 3, 2, 1, up, okay? I want you to think of your back, pulling your elbows back. All right, we're putting that mind muscle connection to the muscle that's on the back of our rib cage on either side. When you're standing up from your hinge, you're really engaging the glutes to help you lift that upper body up. Five more seconds. And time, good. Next, we have a curl and press. And remember, if going overhead with your weight or your water bottles or even your imaginary weight is painful, stay with the bicep curl. I'm going to keep my knuckles facing out the whole entire time with my curl and my press. And then I'm going to bring it back. Okay, this is considered a hammer curl and a neutral grip overhead press. And it's one of the safer overhead presses that you can do. Okay, it's a little bit safer on the shoulder joint. If you find, however, that your dumbbells are getting heavy round for round, but you can go overhead, you can always just go to one dumbbell and hold it on the sides and work this way. Okay, this is a way to modify your weight if 2 dumbbells gets a little too tedious, you know, a little too daunting to do. Okay, and time. And now we are back to the top. Okay, so I'm going to move to standing now. Stay with the seated if that's working for you. We're going to sumo squats or lateral tap to leg extension. My heels are outside my shoulders, toes are out. I'm going down, down, press through the heels and squeeze. Down, down. Really think of your lower body here. Think of your glutes engaging on the way up. Think of your inner thighs and outer thighs working here as well. It's really your whole leg. You're getting your quadricep and hamstring here too. But you're thinking about engaging those muscles. You're telling them to contract, especially on the way up. Pressing through the heels is going to help deepen that connection. That's why I drill it in and say it every time. Woo. And time. Good. Okay. We're going back to our hinge, 3 rows, and then standing up. Our feet are right underneath our shoulder or our hips, and our toes are forward. I'm going to show you from the side. Ready? Begin. Your hips push back. My spine stays neutral. 3, 2, 1. Squeeze the glutes to stand up. You can be done seated or standing. When I'm rowing, I'm really making that mind muscle connection with my lats, which are, again, the muscles on either side of the back of my rib cage. I'm thinking of them squeezing and pulling my elbows back and up. And then using my glutes to stand back up, okay? 5 more seconds here. 2, and time. Okay, back to our curl to press, seated or standing. And again, if it's too much for the shoulders, just give me the bicep curl or the hammer curl, really, because our knuckles are out to the side. Ready? And begin. And with the standing variation, I'm making sure that I'm squeezing my glutes, okay? This is going to give us a nice stable base of support, and it's going to take any pressure off the lower back as we're lifting weight over our head here. Remember my little trick. If 2 dumbbells starts to feel too intense, I'm going to do it here so you can see. Curl, press. Okay, so here's a nice in between if 2 gets to be too tough. And time. Good. One more set. Okay, one more set through. Starting with our sumo squats. Please remember, take your drinks whenever you need it. It's okay. The timer is just a guide. All right. You can always start a little late if you need to get some hydration going. Down, down, drive it up. Up. You can use 1 weight, 2 weights, no weights, or our seated variation, our lateral tap to leg extension, alternating sides. What am I pressing through to come up? The heels, right? Last set of these. Should feel your legs working by now. And time. Good. Okay, next we have our hinge to 3 rows, okay? Seated or standing, our feet are underneath our hips, our toes are facing forward. I'm going to hinge by pushing my hips back towards the wall behind me, so it gives me a nice neutral spine, like I'm a table through my back. 2, 3, squeeze the glutes to stand up, right back down. Thinking of those back muscles, pulling the elbows back. We want to think of the origin of the exercise, which is those back muscles. That's what's pulling everything back versus thinking our hands that are just really holding on to the dumbbells. You don't want to think about the hands coming back. You want to think about the back pulling the elbows back. 5 more seconds here. That's going to give you a greater mind-muscle connection. And time, good. Curl and press, or just a curl, a hammer curl if the press is too much. Remember, our feet are about hip to shoulder width apart for this. Nice stable base by squeezing the glutes, kind of tucking the pelvis. That's going to help take any pressure off the lower back. Remember, this can be performed with one weight, whether you're seated or standing as well. We're going to take a break after this to move on to our next block. It's okay to stop a little early too. If the muscle burn is getting very intense and you feel your form breaking down because of it, then that's a good stopping point right there, okay? Remember, it's always quality over the quantity of the reps and time. Okay, guys, let's take a little break here. Get a drink. I know I really need one. Okay, next block, we are doing a two exercises. This is the only one we're going to do 2 exercises. We're going to do an alternating lunge. We did this last week, and we are going to do our alternating chair knee tuck. Okay, so our alternating lunge from a seated position is going to be our alternating leg press. So we're going to be back here, and we're going to press down, up, press down. Okay. Our alternating lunge, you can imagine I'm holding the back of the chair with 2 hands. It's step back, lower down, drive through that front heel, return, other side, okay? And remember, 2 hands on the back of the chair, 1 hand on the side of the chair to do it, or maybe you can do it without any kind of chair. You just know it's there if you need it, okay? So anyway, you want to do that one there. And then we have our alternating chair knee tuck. So if you're doing the seated variation, you're going to get all core for, you're going to get a lot of core on this one. So the seated leg variation is, we're extended, the legs are extended longer. There's still a slight bend in the knee. All of us will be seated. I'm creating this scoop, this C curve through my stomach. I'm a little bit rounded through the back. I'm holding either onto the arms of my chair or the sides of my chair. Okay, and this should feel like active work through the core right here. Okay, so maybe if it gets too hard and you just want to hold here, that's an option too. Otherwise, we're going to knee tuck, knee tuck, knee tuck, knee tuck. Okay, so think of that scoop, think of that roundness, think of that C curve, and exhale it up, and then exhale it up. My heels are tapping the ground every repetition. Okay. It gets really gruesome if your feet aren't touching the ground in between those reps, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. This is just 2 exercises. It's 5 minutes. It's a shorter one. It should feel a little intense though. Okay, so 40 seconds of work, 10 seconds of transition time. Round 1, I will be seated and alternating lunges or alternating seated leg press. Ready? And begin. Okay, so seated variation. I'm kind of like leaning back here. I'm lifting up. I'm pressing something heavy away with the heel of my foot. Really digging into the heel is going to help engage the muscles in the leg. And time. Okay. Now, if you're not already seated, go ahead and take a seat. We're going to be closer towards the edge of our chair. We're creating this C curve. I'm like scooping back, right? I'm trying to make this like C curve. I'm extending my heels a little bit longer, still bending the knee, lift knee tuck. Exhale. Exhale. You may find if it creates too much pressure on your lower back and you need to come up for a second, right there. Okay, you don't even have to do the arms. You can just sit it up straight for a second. You feeling your abs, Mom?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got my waist trainer on.
And time. Boy. Okay. I am moving on to the standing variation, but if you're remaining seated, we're doing the alternating leg press. If it becomes too intense and you just want to do leg extensions instead, you can do that as well. Otherwise, here we go. Out, down, drive through that heel, return. Remember, when we're lunging, it's primarily the front leg that we're working, okay? So as we lower down, drive through that front heel, okay, engage the leg. I say this a lot, but it's not uncommon. You might feel the back leg working some, especially if you're tight through some of your hamstrings and hip flexors, okay? But your mind and focus should really be on that front leg. And time, okay? Back to our knee tucks, okay? Our chair knee tucks here. I'm gonna do it from the side this time so you can see my scoop here, okay? So I'm extending my legs with a little bit of a bend here. See, I'm kind of leaning back here. Everybody's range is going to be a little bit different too, depending on our own unique body. So my heels are coming back to the ground. All right, I'm really trying to pull that knee in through the abs here. Noisy exhales are good. That gets deep into your transverse abdominal. Okay. And now back to our final set of either leg presses from the seated position or alternating lunges. Here we go. Back, down. When I lunge, like that front foot, you should be able to like kind of like lift your toes up off the floor. Like you can wiggle them because you're so focused on pressing through the heel, right? As you come back up. Remember the importance of training our limbs one at a time to help close the gap of any imbalances we may have in our body. 2 and 1. Good. Final set of our knee tucks. Okay. I'm gonna do it from the side profile again. All right. So I'm scooping. All right. I still have a bend in my knee, but my heel's on the ground. Exhale. Noisy exhale. Let it come out through the belly. Trying to pull that belly button back towards my spine, right? Towards the back of the chair, I'm pulling it in. Remember, if it feels a little too intense, come up for a second, straighten it out, right? And then when you're ready, you just come back down. All right, we're almost done now. We have 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, that was our only mini block today. All right. We're going back. We're going to take a break now. We're going to get some more water. And we're going back to another 45, 15 for 9 minutes. All right. Just the same as the last 2 weeks. We are doing that. I want you to think of athletic stance. My feet are underneath my hips, right? And I push those hips back. You see that? So what bends is this part of the leg. The shin stays pretty up and down here, right? So it's the hips that bend versus me going knees that bend, right? You see that little difference? Makes all the difference in the world, okay? All right, so from there, we're gonna be in that position, okay? And we're going to, what's my pattern there? We're going to tap, we're gonna heel tap. We're gonna front, side, back, heel raise. Tap it front, tap it side, tap it back, heel raise. But I forgot, alternate sides there. heel raise, okay? So it's gonna look pretty much the same here. We're gonna be towards the edge of our seat. We don't have to worry about that stance so much. We're gonna go front, side, back. And then instead of heel raise, we're gonna lift our glutes up off the chair. Front, side, back, lift, okay? I'm just using my hands to lift hover my backside about an inch or two off the chair, okay? And then after that, we are doing our ham curl tricep kickback. So standing right here, okay? And then seated just towards the edge of your chair so that you have room to bring those feet behind you. All right, and then the final one is Y step. So we'll go out, out, in, other side, in, okay? So standing, out, in, okay? Excellent posture. Y raises are excellent for this area of our back right here, which really helps. The stronger this gets, the more that helps pull us up, okay? So Y raises are excellent for shoulder mobility and also posture. And then that's it. There are 3, okay? So round 1, I will do seated. We're going to that front, side, back, tap to our little heel raise, okay? We're gonna alternate sides. 45 seconds is going on the clock here. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. So we're going to tap it front, tap it side, tap it back, heel raise, front, side, back. Okay, and I forgot the seated variation is we're doing a little chair lift. Just spice up the seated variation a little bit. It's a little upper body strength we're working with the seated variation. And time, good. Next we have our ham curls and tricep kickbacks. So you can grab weights if you want, okay? Or you could do this without weights as well, okay? And basically we're doing tricep kickbacks, all right? So we're focused on the back of the arms there. Remember, not too heavy with the weight. One thing I'll say is sometimes you get a better mind-muscle connection when the weight's not too aggressive, okay? Because what happens is if the weight's a little too heavy for you, other muscle groups that aren't necessarily supposed to be involved in the particular exercise you're doing start to help out because it's too heavy, okay? So more weight doesn't always mean, you know, you're working that muscle better, okay? And time. Woo. Okay, and then our alternating V step, okay? Getting those Y raises in, okay? Ready, and begin. And this one's a little bit of coordination because we have to go from one side to the other. Again, if you're an old step fan, I like to throw a lot of these step aerobic. I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to do step aerobics classes in like the local churches and libraries and things like that. And sometimes I'd go with her. And I mean, I was too young to do them at that point, but I remember it was a big thing then. And then as I got older, I did step too. They should bring it back.
They should.
It's so much fun. Especially if you don't have a lot of coordination, you know, you don't have to have rhythm.
It's an 8 step.
Yeah. Okay, back to the top, guys. I am moving to standing this round. We are doing that front, center, back to heel raise. Okay, remember what I'm doing right here. Boom. Okay, and begin. We're going front, center, back, front, center, back. By staying in this little, like, it's almost like you're staying in a half squat, so you're getting this isometric work on the stationary leg. Less than 10 seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay, back to our V step. Again, feeling a little thirsty. Take drinks anytime you need them. Okay, don't let the clock, the timer deter you from taking your water. Okay, here we go. Out, out, in, in. This is one of those cognitive exercises too, so we challenge our brain here as well. Remember, it's not just the iPad games that sharpen our mind, okay? Tying movement to our thought process and that coordination really helps sharpen the mind as well. Okay, one more round through. Back to our front, center, back, heel raise, okay? Again, what do? Push the hips back, all right? Here we go. Front, center, back, heel raise. Front, center, back. You go at your pace, okay, your own tempo. We're all individuals and unique here and have lived long enough in our body to know what's good for it and what's not, right? All done with those, okay? Final set of our, oh wait, did I skip one in here? I think I did. Our hand curls and kickbacks. I felt like this is going quick, all right? We'll put it in there, don't worry, here we go. Whew. And time, oh man, okay, now let me see, what did I do here? Y step, okay. Yep, we got Y step, and then after Y step, I'll give us those kickbacks again since I missed it on us. All right, here we go. Out, out, in. I thought that second round seemed fast, but it didn't, I didn't catch on. So yeah, the Y raises really help target lower trap work, which is above your lower back, but below your shoulder blades. And time, all right, get ready, we gotta go back to those kickbacks and hand curls, the tuckies. Remember, your weight does not have to be, you know, if your weight's too heavy, you're gonna miss the contraction you should feel through the back of the arm. Okay, remember we're focused on quality and mind-muscle connection. All right, these are the ones I missed on round 2. That's why we're doing them again here at the end. We break after this, and then we have one more block. can do this body weight too, okay? You'll still feel that if you're focused on telling your arm to contract through here, even without holding weight, you can feel that muscle contraction, okay? All right, guys. Final block is going to be a 40-10, okay? 40 seconds of work, 4 exercises, okay? No, I'm sorry, 4 sets, but they're the same exercises. We repeat them 2 in one block. So the first one we're going to try here, okay, is an overhead dumbbell hold, okay? So if you can, if you can't, that's fine. You can either do it body weight, or maybe you can do something like this, okay? And not hold on to weight, all right? And if not, you know, maybe just right here, if it hurts to bring your shoulder up and over, okay? All right, but if you can, we're coming right here with that weight overhead. I'm using this other hand to balance a little bit, and I'm knee raising. And I'm trying to go slow, all right? Because the slower I go, the more core control I have. If I'm going really fast, I don't really have to engage my core as much, okay? Yeah. All right, so I'm kind of going slow with that movement. That's 40 seconds we're holding it there. So, you know, think about your weight if you're okay with it, okay? After that, and then our seated variation, same idea, okay? You're gonna feel nice core contraction here. After that, we are going to do, it's called a bob and weave. It's like a boxer move. I want you to imagine right at your shoulder height, okay, right at shoulder height, that there is a string from wall to wall, okay? And you have to clear the string. So you're stepping to the side and stepping under the string. Stepping, okay? So that imaginary string, you have to get your head under, bob and weave. Side step squat and up. Side step squat and up, okay? All right, have fun with it. After that, we're doing the other side, okay? And then after that, we're doing bob and weave again, okay? So, and that's 1 round, all right, guys? So your version here, okay, for bob and weave, we're gonna work on thoracic rotations here, okay? So these thoracic, you're kind of coming up and over. They're like, it's like a half circle. Okay, so half circle, think of elongating your spine. Okay, and it's a nice stretch for the spine on either side here. Okay, so first off, we are starting with our overhead hold dumbbell march. Okay, remember your variations. If it hurts to hold the weight, you can either do it without the weight. You could bring your hand here. You could bring your hand here, okay? Let's get ready. 40 seconds is going on the clock. I lost my timer. Oh, geez, where did it go? Oh, there it is, okay. All right, 40 seconds on the clock. Ready, and begin. Okay, remember, control. We're not going fast, right? You wanna feel the core, have to engage and hold here. I'm using that hand that's down as like to help balance myself. You know, it's kind of out diagonally to the side to help. Okay, good, time. Now imagine that imaginary string that's right at shoulder height, okay? And you have to step to the side and clear it. Okay, your head, you wanna make sure you don't bump your head on it. Ready, here we go. And then with the seated variation, you can add some taps if you want, or you can just focus on that lower body U shape that you're making, or yeah, your upper body U shape. And I'm trying to stay elongated through the spine. And what I love about the seated variation is I feel this nice stretch through each side of my spinal erector muscles there. Okay, that. Now we got to get the other side of our march, okay? So whatever arm you were doing the first time, now you're going to do the other arm, okay? Here we go. Slow and controlled is the name of the game. Again, make you some modifications if the weight feels a little too heavy overhead, it's causing you discomfort. In time, okay. All right, that was almost round one. Now we have to do our bob and weave one more time, okay? Ready and begin. Okay, oh, I'm still seated. See, I'm confused because we've got 4 exercises here now. I'm ready to start round 2. Good, so it's a side step and then you're kind of trying to clear underneath that imaginary string. That's right around the height of your shoulder. And if you're seated with me, hopefully you're enjoying the benefit of feeling these nice, gentle, dynamic stretch here. And time. Okay, now that's round 1. All right. Whew, okay. Here we go, guys. Take your drinks as you need them. Don't let the clock make you not drink, okay? And when you're ready, we're going back to that first side. And apply the 3 strikes you're out rule here, okay? If you lose balance once, that's normal. Sometimes we just lose our footing a little bit. You know, make sure a chair is near you or something. If you do it 2 times in a row, sometimes that's even normal too. I know I've done it numerous times. But if you've lost your balance 3 times in a row, that's a really good indicator that it's just a little too much right now and you probably need to make use of a modification, okay? Time, okay. Remember what arm you just worked. Going back to our bob and weave. There's that imaginary string along the wall right here above my shoulder. Okay, here we go. I'm going to step under it. You okay? Dripped on the carpet. And time, okay? Other side, all right? Other side with our overhead march. Remember, make use, if the dumbbell gets too heavy, take it away, bring it behind or bring it across, okay? Or, you know, your seated variation that all stands is the same. Think about how right here and your glute is helping to stabilize. And this arm out to the side helps make you a bigger, gives you like a wider surface. Okay, so this helps make it a little bit easier than if we were like this, okay? Creates a wider base of support, okay? One more bob and weave and then that's the end of round 2, okay? All right, that imaginary line, all right, that imaginary string. We don't want to bump our head on it, so we step down and under, right? I'll do it from the side so you see what that side profile looks like. Working this lateral exercise, working these glute knees, they're really good stabilizers to help us with our balance, which pairs really nicely with that overhead march that we're doing. That's why I kept this exercise the same after both sides. And time, okay? Other hand, take your drinks as you need it. Okay, remember the time, the clock is just, gives us structure, okay? You do what works for you though. Okay, on this side now. Yeah, make sure you remember what side you did first. All right, this is giving your body, you're listening to the feedback your body's giving, okay? But when you're up on that one knee and you kind of pause for a second, your body's saying, oh, engage here to stay, to stay in control, all right? Okay, final round, guys. Oh, wait, final bob and weave, okay? Ready? On round 2. Obviously, I'm very confused by this one. And go at a pace that's comfortable for you, okay? Again, you do not necessarily have to keep up with my pace. Or if you feel I'm not going fast enough and you've got a little more gusto in you, then you know your fitness level, okay? That's really the end game, is that the end goal is doing what's appropriate for you. And time, okay? You guys got one more in you? You okay? All right, make use of modifications. We're almost done. Here we go. The seated variation is great here too. You still feel your core working by bringing that knee up. These past few weeks have been more core centric. I've been doing a lot more core work in our routines, like direct core work, I should say. We're always doing core work, but last time on that side, okay? Remember what arm you just had up, okay? Bob and weave. If you're experiencing any knee pressure and you just want to come side to side instead, you could always do this, okay? If your knees are starting to bug you or the intensity is just getting to be too much, okay? So you do it. Good, do a squat. There we go. So my mom's opting for this right here. Okay, so she's in that athletic squat stance and just coming side to side, okay? So if the bob and weave starts to bother your knees at all, make some adjustments. You can add a little pause right here, okay? Other side, this is our final set of these guys right here, okay? So make sure you got the other arm. We're almost there, okay? Here we go. These really work our transverse abdominals here. Remember that they're the deepest layer of core muscles we have. That's underneath the 6-pack and the obliques. The transverse abdominals are underneath that. And they're like a circle shape. They wrap around our spine, kind of like a calamari. I don't know why calamari always comes to head, but that's it. Tire? I don't know. All right, all done with those. One more set of bob and weaves. Okay, seated or standing. You've got the stretch, or you can just do lateral steps. Okay, if your knees are bugging you. You want to push yourself, but you don't want to hurt yourself. Okay, there's that balance of knowing exercise discomfort and acute pain. And remember, we use our scale of rate of perceived exertion. 1 being you're flipping the channels on the TV. 10, somebody just took your purse and you're running after them. Okay, you're around a 5 to 7. Okay, depending on your ability and how you're feeling that day. And time. All right, guys, we did it. Woo. Okay. Go ahead and get a drink. All right. That was a 12-minute block there at the end. Whew. All right, so if you're able to, the standing, we're going to do our forward fold on our chair. I love this stretch because it gets the back of our legs and it also gets our shoulders and our upper back. Okay, so if you're able to, we're going to come right here. Okay, and if staying seated is better for you, that's no problem. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on stretching through the back by coming up. Even if your arms are right here, it's okay if your range of motion is here, that's fine, okay? You're just trying to stay lengthened through the spine and remove any roundness through, okay? So. Good, all right, from there, let's go ahead and do a hamstring stretch. So our seated variation is just sitting down here, okay? You kind of, for me, I think, you know, I kind of like coming out to the side a little bit, or if you're advanced, you can do it on the chair, okay? Okay, you can hold on to the chair here. You don't necessarily have to touch your toe or anything. And you should feel the back of your legs stretching out here. Okay, and then same thing, other side, seated or standing. Good, and then let's work on just our wrists and ankles here. So you can sit down and extend one leg straight and you can flex and point for 5. And then you're gonna lift it up off the floor slightly and you're gonna circle 5 each direction, all right? And then do that same thing on the other foot. We're gonna flex and point for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift the foot up slightly and circle 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now reverse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then we're just going to take our wrist and do some wrist circles here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just hand grabs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And then just shake all the digits out, shake them out. Okay. It's always important to pay attention to those little muscle groups too, right? Final stretch right here. We're going to do neck and trap. Okay. So I'm just gently pulling on my head and gently pressing down with my elongated arm. Feeling this nice stretch to the side. Relax, we're done. That last block was intense. Only 2 exercises. Sometimes the ones that are like simple looking, you know, and like pretty like, oh, just 2 exercises, you know, same thing, repeat. Sometimes they are the ones that are the most intense. And good, and release. So now we're gonna go inhale up, palms together, exhale to heart. One more time, inhale up, palms together, exhale, hands to heart. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's workout. Let me